for the audience that are in their 40s plus, they may not know how to relate to a Gen Zer or much less understand anything they're fucking saying.
Oh my gosh, and I think it's our job to...
Yes. So I'd like to call this segment... What the fuck you say? Well, where should we begin?
See, it's a little hard to get started when you haven't been here for like 2.5 years.
It has been a minute.
Welcome back to the F Word, everybody.
In case you're tuning in for the very first time, we should probably introduce ourselves.
We shall. Yes. After you, my lady.
Okay. Well, I'm Carrie Murray, and I'm the founder of the Bra Network.
There's so many things.
I know, like I'm really layered. So we'll just say Carrie Murray, founder of the Bra Network. But you know, I am the fabulous to your fierce.
Correct.
I'm the Taylor to your Selena. I am the salt to your sugar.
You got it. So yes, you are. You are. Although I might be the salt to your sugar. I don't know. That's true. We gotta decide that.
Yeah. I prefer the salt over the sugar, though.
Shit, so do I.
All right.
Okay, that's okay.
We agree to disagree.
All right.
We can share it.
We can share both.
Maybe you could be the cumin to my turmeric.
I could be the onion powder to your garlic powder.
There we go. Both needed, but only sparingly.
Yes.
Yeah, that being said, welcome, my fabulous co-host. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stacey Beaman. Yes, I am the fierce to Carrie's fabulous. Two F words, which goes along with our title. I am as well layered. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have many things going on. I'm a business owner. I have a business called Beaman Marketing, which is where I help other small businesses with marketing systems, website design, things like that. I'm the co-founder of a dance fitness brand called Plyo Jam. I also have a little side gig called Caneo Valley Spotlight. Lots of things going on. But we're here because, and we started this a few years ago. Multiple years ago.
Yes.
Many years ago. 4+ years ago. When I turned 40 and Carrie is just a scooch above me in the 40s. And we thought that there needed to be a space for women in their 40s in the podcast world.
100%.
Talking about 40 things.
40 things, right?
40 things,
yes. I agree. And we saw it because there were no other podcasts that would focus on things that women go through approaching 40 or after 40, dealing with 40 things. So it was necessary, and we're doing it for the people.
I mean, it's a service, if you will.
It is. And part of the reason why we decided to reboot the podcast is we have a lot of, another F word, fans.
Yes, we heard the call. We heard the cry.
Yes. And the sound of the bell. How's that song go? The bell, the song in Hairspray about the bell.
I can hear the bells. Yes, that's right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Don't get us singing. It can never stop. No, that is true. The fans wanted us back. And honestly, I do think, and here's an F word for you, we're kind of coming out of the fog that we've been in.
For sure.
When did we last record?
Our last episode was November 30th. 2020.
Mamma mia, I counted, and that means since then, between the two of us, we've had 5 birthdays.
But we haven't aged a day.
Not a single day, and we're still in our 40s.
Or gained a pound.
No, or a wrinkle. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We're still the same ladies.
Yes, it was. And in that episode, we talked a lot about the holidays because we were about to embark. We were knee deep in the pandemic. It was the first time people were having holidays without their family, or they were doing all the Zoom things and everything.
Yes.
Everybody was testing, but it would take hours to get a test. There were no home tests yet.
There was certainly no vaccine yet.
No, we were probably still wiping down groceries.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. We would definitely encourage you, if you're a first-time listener, to go back and listen to the pre-2020, all of our episodes, just to get to know us. And actually, it might be a really interesting study on how we were pre-pandemic and how we are now, which I would say to the core we're the same, but there are some life-altering things that have happened pandemic related or not pandemic related.
For sure.
That have impacted us inevitably.
And I think also we did a lot of frolicking.
Oh, we surely did.
Yes.
Surely.
Little did we know we were going to be shut down.
Yes.
So a lot of our first 2 seasons is us adventuring.
So carefree and fancy free.
Yep. Dancing and going to Spain and New York and all the places and having a great old time. Little did we know what was lying ahead. And even then, I still feel like in 2020, we were like, things can't get any worse.
Right, because I do remember in that last episode, we were talking a lot about like the election had just happened. We had just, I think Trump had finally conceded, you know. We didn't really realize to the extent, we kind of touched on it, but we didn't realize to the extent the fallout of what we had all gone through and how the ripple effect of that would affect our families, our children, our friendships, our businesses, like all of those things, and just even our own personal mental health, and just, you know, ability to sort of somehow rebound.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to go into things that happened over the last 2 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have a little game for us too.
Ooh, goody. We love games. We want to keep this light, even though some of the subjects will be heavy. But I think it's important to talk about light stuff. But like, let's be real also, you know, because shit ain't always easy. And it was an interesting thing because I recall when we ended our podcast, or just like, we didn't really end it. It just literally stopped. I would say that was probably a little bit more me. And we'll talk about that, what kind of went down and how I was just not able to come back at that time. Even now, it's not like things are perfect, but I feel like I have this perspective now of like, let's just keep talking even when it's not perfect, even when it's hard. So I would love all of our F words to be fitness and frolicking and, flights just somewhere exotic, but that's not really the reality at all times.
No, it's not, and that's okay. I have some interesting F words and things, and what have you, and we'll talk about, you know, the great things that happened over the last 2 years, things that surprised us, and the things that were downright smacking us upside the head.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely.
But before we begin, I feel like we should have a little bit of a language lesson.
Okay, let's do it. Because
I don't know if you all know, especially if you're in your 40s, there has been an insurgence of Gen Zers. They are currently entering the workforce. They're graduating. And for some reason, if they have fallen onto this podcast, I want them to know that we can relate to them.
Oh my gosh.
We speak their language.
I don't know if I can say totes anymore.
I think you can. Okay.
Okay. I got nervous.
Okay. But more importantly, for the audience that are in their 40s plus, they may not know how to relate to a Gen Zer or much less understand anything they're fucking saying.
Oh my gosh. And I think it's our job to...
Yes. So I'd like to call this segment... What the fuck you say?
By the way, Carrie is springing on me. She did prepare me that there was like a little something, but with no deets, no details at all. So I am just as green as you all are.
Yes.
Bring it on.
So just like any good teacher, I'm going to teach you 2 words. You may already know these words.
Okay.
But I would like for us both to try to use these words sometimes during this recording.
Oh my gosh, it's just like Clueless.
Yes.
When Ty had to use sporadically.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
So first I'll give you the word and you tell me if you know the definition.
All right.
Okay. So the first word is stan.
Oh, yes. I do know.
S-T-A-N, everyone. Stan. A verb.
For example, I totally stan. Wait, who's a new couple out there that I think that would be kind of cute? Okay, like I just recently heard that Harry Styles and Emrata made out at a party. So I kind of like stan that.
No, Stacey.
Wait, that's ship.
That's ship.
I failed already. Hold on.
Stan. That's shipping. You're right.
Wait, stan is being a massive fan.
Yes, that's ding, right. Ding.
Oh my gosh,
ding,
my bad, you guys. But like, look at, they just got a little extra education.
Yeah. Okay, so stan is the combination of stalker and fan.
Yes.
So, but
like I'm a Taylor Swift stan.
yes, but let's put it in a sentence that someone in their 40s would use. So maybe like, I'm just standing my physical therapist right now.
Okay, along those lines.
Someone in their 40s would say that. They wouldn't say, I'm standing Taylor Swift's new album.
After my most recent Botox, I am standing my esthetician.
Perfect.
By the way, I haven't had Botox in about 3 years, but I am signing up this month, so that's why it's on my mind.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. Okay, next word. Last word. Dank. Dank is an adjective.
Okay, so I'm wondering if there's a new meaning, because I remember back in the day we would be like, that is some dank weed.
That's a 40-something-year-old definition of dank.
Yeah, like that's dank, like strong. Okay.
So that they've changed
I don't know.
Okay, dank is if something is dank, it's excellent or of high quality.
Okay.
So let's put that in a sentence for 40-year-olds.
This new underwire bra is dank. Just kidding. I don't really like underwires anymore.
Oh, I got one. My vitamins are dank.
Oh my God. I mean, listen. Oh my gosh, Carrie, I found the dankest under eye cream.
There you go.
We're on it. We got it. Yes. We got it. You know, these are important lessons.
I agree. And we're helping the fans to how to interact with, a possible new employee, maybe someone who's delivering their groceries, a new client.
A niece or nephew.
Yes.
Like, you never know. Yeah.
You can now use we've taught you 3 words. Ship, dank.
Would it be appropriate for me to say to my next client, I'm going to build you the dankest website?
Yes, because she's going to say, I totally stan my website. No, I would be standing you.
Yeah, my designer. Oh my God.
Yes, it's present participle. Participle? What was it? Present
participle.
Present participle is when you make an ing to it, right?
Yeah. I think so.
So standing. Got it.
Okay.
It's like the ship is sinking. It means it's happening right now.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
present
right.
participle.
Okay.
I can't say it.
And as a bonus, you did learn about shipping, which is where you approve of a relationship and you want it to happen. So you say you ship them.
You ship.
There you go.
I guess the Gen Zers can't be bothered finishing an entire word.
No. Too much work.
Too much. All right. So that's our lesson of the day.
I like that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Next podcast, I'm going to ask you to bring 2 words to the class.
It's on. I'll do it.
And share.
I'll do it.
Wonderful.
So listen, okay, I know it's virtually impossible for us to recall everything. It's almost like we have to categorize it all. How would you like to approach sort of doing a little bit of a review since we last? Would you like to talk about your business? Would you like to talk about your just journey as a woman, as a mother, where are you at? Like what's on your mind the most? Because that might be what you want to speak to.
I think what's on my mind the most is probably something that I was struggling with pre-pandemic, and that's balance.
Always.
Yeah.
That's like a life
So that's
struggle.
that didn't change. The balance just became, how do I balance indoors as opposed to outdoors? So that's still something I feel like as the children get older and more independent, but also still need supervision.
Yeah.
They're pulling back where I'm like shadowing more, I feel like. That there's balance needed there.
So as a reminder, what are the ages of your children?
13 and about to be 13 and 15.
Okay, that tripped me out because when you just said 13, I reverted and was thinking that was the oldest. Whoa.
Well, the oldest was 13.
Yeah.
Oh no, they were 13 in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy, right? Yeah.
13 and almost 16 or almost 15?
Almost 16.
Almost 16.
Yeah.
Those are some rowdy ages. Like, those are some wild ages.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of like hormonal teenage cray.
Seriously. It's not dank.
You do not stand this stage.
No. I'm not standing it. But so there's that. And then we also moved.
Yes.
I think that's also something
That's a big deal.
That was very disruptive, but excitedly disruptive. I can say that my business has plateaued for a little bit. I'd say in 2021 plateaued. Then I had the conference and we kind of shot back up in 2022. And now I feel like I'm on this slow trajectory, but I've never felt more focused, I would say.
Okay.
And the bra network has never been larger. For like every one member, just so everyone knows, Bra Network is an inclusive community of female and non-binary entrepreneurs who are looking for community, connection, and collaboration.
Preach, sis.
Yes, that's my new elevator pitch. But we are a membership platform. So similar to PlayoJam, the membership, my membership is annual. So I feel like for everyone that doesn't renew, I get 2 or 3 more new ones every month.
That's great.
What's cool is the elevated women that have started joining our community. It's really great.
Yeah.
Which is good. The other thing I think that has happened in this last 2 years is I became on the board of 2 nonprofits. She Angels Foundation and Everyday Action. So that 2 very different nonprofits. So that kind of massaged my muscle of like giving back where I felt I couldn't do anything during the pandemic. I felt very like, I can't sew masks. I tried.
Yeah.
I really tried. But I can make you a social media account and monitor it for you.
Yes.
So I can host a fundraiser. So I think, and then the continuity of the last 2 years definitely came from our Squad A, our friendships. Definitely Sean still working, myself still working, school being back. It's still, that wasn't very, there wasn't a lot of consistency with that.
Yeah.
But that continuity, my family, knock wood, my parents are happy, healthy. That kind of stayed. I was very fortunate to have that kind of, we all kind of had the same idea of how we want to protect our health and everything. There wasn't like that rogue friend we had that was like, fuck it, I'm out. I'm making out with strangers, going to theaters and ball games and never wear masks.
Some friends groups really got torn apart during the pandemic because of those different beliefs.
I agree. I'm just so glad it was not ours.
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
So that's kind of my kind of where we're
like an overview.
I also had 2 knee surgeries.
Yeah, I was gonna say
you forgot about that.
You've done some travel and you had some major health stuff going on.
Yeah, I did forget about that. 2 partial knee replacements, 1 on each knee. So together it would have been 1 full knee.
And I feel from the time your pain was very, very significant, which was about February or March of 21.
Correct.
To when do you feel that you really kind of recovered? I know the recovery never ends. I know that. So
it was when I was in New York because we were walking so much in New York. So that was June 2022.
When did you go to New York in June?
Remember we were supposed to go to London and I couldn't get the passport.
Oh yeah. That's when you felt difference.
I was walking up the stairs.
Okay.
And that's when I realized, March,
April, May, June. So that was 16 months of hell.
Yeah.
Really, Carrie went through hell with that. And
it was brutal.
So much pain. And I remember because she got her first surgery in November
21.
Which you wanted to get it a little sooner, but between finding the surgeon being able to do the date and
insurance.
And then when you also have a husband who works full time and children and all of the things, and going through what you went through from that first surgery, the recovery and the PT and the pain, to have to then be brave enough and gear up to do a second one.
Yeah.
Was gnarly.
That was actually harder. The second one was harder than the first one.
Mentally?
Yes. But physically, it was easier because the other knee was already working.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because your strong leg wasn't exactly strong on the first one.
Correct. It was all jacked up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then you got the second one done in April.
Correct.
November to April. And then, I would say by mid-June, you were doing pretty well.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is incredible.
Now they're ready to go. Like, even when we were in boxing, I still can't do anything on my knees. Like, I can't.
Like if we were to do a push-up, you can't go down onto your knee.
Yeah. especially my left knee. It just feels like pins and needles. So I'm actually a little worried about that Pilates class I signed up for. But that's okay. I can just sit crisscross applesauce.
Do what you can do.
Yep. So that's...
Well, you've had, that's a lot that's gone on. And I mean, obviously that is just such a tiny, I mean, I know you've done some traveling and when Carrie says she moved, she didn't move like far away from where she lived before, just a different home, just a few miles away.
Correct.
It's not like you're in Nantucket now.
No. If anything, I moved 3 miles closer to you.
Yes, and I appreciate that. I was about to say what street you're on, but I will not.
Appreciate that.
I was going to give the little story behind that, but then realized that doesn't work too well.
No. But I did. This was actually the other thing we forgot is I bought and sold a house and bought a house, completely backed out and sold it. 32.
Oh my God. I think I wiped that out of my mind, honestly.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
Well, you know what? That is life, man. Yeah. And you, because that was related, multiple things, but part of that was related to your knees.
Yeah.
And I am really quite proud of you and happy that you advocated for yourself, because I'm sure there was part of you that thought, this is...
What the hell is that?
Wow. Well, we are having drilling happening. Okay, let me know. Okay, well, before we were so rudely interrupted by Carrie's...
I bet that doesn't happen in Smartless.
Jason Bateman's backyard remodel doesn't interrupt. Anyway.
Sorry about that.
No, but the irony of it was that we were in Carrie's office and there was a drill. I'm not kidding. We could see the top of the guy's head. He was literally under the window. We're like, of all the windows.
All the things to drill.
But anyway, I was complimenting you.
I know. So continue, please. Yes. Don't let me drill or myself interrupt you. Continue. You were saying that...
I was talking about how you had to back out of that house and how I know that there's part of you that probably felt embarrassing and kind of unhinged and kind of like you were a mess. You know what I mean? But I think you knew yourself so well and what you needed and wanted so well that was more important than feeling like it looked stupid or embarrassing or a mess.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's something that we gain in our 40s. You know what I mean?
Button that up.
I'm just saying, like, I think that in your 20s and your 30s, things are embarrassing. So we don't do the things because we're embarrassed. Or we don't say no because we're embarrassed.
Yeah. So that's fear.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fear driving the boat on that one.
Totally.
Yeah. I did feel embarrassed. I did feel like, but I felt like if we moved into this house, I'm getting a divorce.
Yeah, like it was just too much for you.
Yeah, and I just said it just like that to my husband. I was like, this is not going to be good for us.
Yeah.
And we sold it.
Besides the stairs, you felt the house was like, had you guys two separated?
Yeah. Yeah.
As a family?
First off, there weren't any walls.
Okay.
Like there was this huge open concept. I was like, where's you could see someone from the kitchen by the front door. You could be in the living room, the kitchen, and the dining room all in one. And I was like, I want some walls. But as open concept it was not cozy at all. It was very cold. And it just does not feel like...
And now you found such the right house that it's wonderful. It all worked out. So let that be a lesson, folks. Sometimes you just got to say no or change your mind and not give a rat's ass about how 100%. It might look.
Absolutely. Who gives a fuck?
And also, if that choice might cost you some money, that can be really, really scary and deter you. And obviously, I don't know what each individual listener's financial situation is, but even sometimes making the decision that's going to cost is better in the long run for your mental health, your physical health.
Well, that's an investment then. It's not a cost.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
There's a different way to look at it.
Yeah.
For sure. So that was leaving that house, buying and selling it within a month, 6 weeks. It's not the soundest way to make a real estate investment. But it also... the mental toll that was lifted off of me. Also being in chronic pain at the time.
Oh yeah, you just couldn't take anything else.
I was just like, I can't do this.
No, your bandwidth was saturated.
I done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my 2 years kind of in a nutshell. The highs, the lows, There's
more than 2 years.
Yeah, true. That's right. I mean, if
it's been 2.5.
Scrolled through last night, I scrolled through Instagram to look at like what did I post since our last episode.
Okay.
And there's some really great moments. We still had supper clubs,
yes,
despite the pandemic. We still had birthdays, and I had a great birthday parade. And murder mystery.
Yeah.
And there was still fun things that happened, but then there are some photos that I was just like, oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pain, anguish, depression behind the eyes type of thing. Yeah, I get that.
So that's me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Catch us up on you.
Oh gosh, well.
All the things, all the Stacey.
I also did the same thing. I kind of like went back. It's so funny how Instagram has become sort of like a journal.
Yeah.
And
point.
It's a good way to sort of look back at it and see where you were at. Although we don't always tend to post the hard stuff,
True.
You might be able to look yourself and be like, oh, I see the pain behind my eyes, or I can remember my thought process during that time. But you're not necessarily going to post all of the things, right? But I can still sort of use it as a benchmark for different parts. Now, I will say last time we recorded was November 2020. Little did I know I was going to be going into sort of like a really hard time in my life. Hard altogether because we were going through this collective terrible pandemic. And then I think throughout the episodes of our podcast in 2018, 19, 2020, I talked quite a bit about fertility and trying to get pregnant, and it was
and fibroids
and many things going on with the uterus, which you guys, if you're interested in that subject, definitely go back and look at because we try to title our podcast with the F words we spoke about. So I'm sure fertility and fibroids were 2 F words that were so if you're interested in that topic. But the last one we recorded, which was in November, I was actually taking fertility drugs and shots, and I was about to do another round of egg harvesting. But I didn't want to talk about it because it was just like, I was literally like in the throes of it.
Sure.
So it was so hard to talk about. It's already so emotional. And I remember it was, we recorded or we released on November 30th, and my egg retrieval was December 8th. So not maybe a week and a half after we released our last podcast. And during that time, the fertility drugs were taking kind of such a toll on my body, and probably mixed with the stress of the pandemic. I had to call 911 in the middle of the night, one of the nights, because my anxiety was so high that, and I've talked about anxiety and panic attacks in the past, and I've certainly had them and I've dealt with them, and unfortunately a couple have landed me in the hospital, but mostly I'm able to like get out of them. This one was so severe, I called 911 because I just thought, because I had in my mind that maybe it was the drugs.
Yeah.
And I couldn't talk myself out of that one. It wasn't. It was anxiety. I got out of it. It was fine. It was just a really, really hard time. And then...
Wait. Were the firefighters cute that came to your house?
They were hot. Oh my God. And they all...
2 a.m. shift? It's all the probies.
It was.
All the new ones.
And it was 2 a.m. They were so young, so good looking. I'm sitting there, like, my adrenaline was so high, I would look like I was convulsing. So I was like, and so... These poor men, they walk in and I'm like, when you're having a pretty severe panic attack, your adrenaline is so high that you can't speak very well.
Right.
So you can't get your words out. So it's like, like this, you talk like that. And I'm like, I just took my trigger shot for my egg retrieval. And these poor men, I can laugh about this now. This is why we had to wait 2.5 years. These poor men are like, your trigger shot? Like, what? So I'm like trying to explain to them the scenario. It was all fine. It was all fine. They gave me like one of those like EKGs on the spot. Right. Took all my vitals. They're like, your heart, you're fine. I'm like, I know. So anyway, that was a pretty rough time, and then also I was fearful of having these firefighters come in my house.
Were you in granny panties?
Oh, I was in granny panties and a nightgown. I'm like, a Little House on the Prairie nightgown. I'm like, and they came in. They were all masked up. I mean, it was gnarly. So, but anyway, that's not a big deal. But I basically, and maybe another time we can go more into detail because I want to just give an overlay. The day that I had my egg retrieval, I literally came out of the surgery. My mom was waiting for me in the parking lot. She couldn't come in because of COVID. Right. So I'm like drugged and they walk me out and get me in the car. They got 9 eggs out. So they, when you get an egg retrieval, they write the number on your hand because they know you're super out of it, but that you want to know. So they let you. So I get in the car and my mom, who was my driver, is kind of like, even through my fog of my drugs, I could tell something was wrong. And I said, is something wrong? And she goes, and she didn't know. I think she didn't know if she should say something. And she basically said, Grandma died this morning. And that was my grandmother, my mom's mom. Yeah. And, listen, she lived such a long life. There is no mistake that it was her time. I mean, but it's always sad, no matter how old someone is, no matter how much life they've lived. I think there was a little extra sadness because we hadn't been able to see her and be around her. And so she was so alone at the end. And it was so shocking coming out of that surgery, sort of being on, being drugged up. My mom telling me Grandma died. And from COVID, by the way, she got COVID 3 days prior and she was gone like that. And then we were trying to plan this funeral during COVID times. Right. This is pre-vaccination. Tests were super hard to come by. This is when, if you thought you'd be exposed, you had to, quarantine for 14 days. I mean, this is the crazy times. So my mom really decided to just stay with me for those 14 days that we had to quarantine, planning the funeral and everything. We only could be me, my mom, and dad at the funeral and her pastor from her former church. And then during that time of planning the funeral and getting that all set up, I got the call that none of my eggs made it to an embryo. And I kind of felt like that was sort of my last chance at that point because I had spent so much money. For any of you who are going through fertility, it's very, very expensive. So I want to wrap this part up because, it's hard to talk about, but also it was just such a gnarly, two things that were happening at the same time, while also the whole world was sort of falling apart for all of us. And my mental health was extremely compromised for, I would say, almost 6 to 8 months after that. I remember we had a squad A birthday party in March and something ticked me off with one of our friends, whatever it was, but to the level where normally I would have been able to be whatever. That person shouldn't have said that dumb thing. It's over. I would never not come to where I was I can't. I literally physically don't know I don't know how to process. So I am sure there are a lot of people out there that, while we're collectively dealing with the pandemic, also had individual things, whether it's a divorce or a death or financial crisis or children suffering through the pandemic, unemployment, all those things. It was this compact. And so the F word that kept coming to me is fog. I feel like the fog is starting to just now lift-ish. Not even fully. And talking about it is giving me a little bit of agita right now as I'm recounting it because we were just traipsing through it all, and trying to figure it out. And it was so crazy and it just feels so crazy now. So anyway, since those very tough times, and I will say even today here right now in March 2023, here we are, my heartache over fertility still rears its head. And maybe in another podcast, I'll tell you guys what my thoughts are at this stage in my life. But I will say, a lot of good things have happened since we last recorded. I did do some traveling, which was really, really awesome. Yeah. We did make it to New York again in the fall. We did fall, I think it was fall 2021.
Yeah,
we
after
made it,
Women on the Rise.
We made it to New York. I did a little East Coast Plyo Jam tour with Jason, and then you met me out there. That's we had some great times, and your friend Christine was there as well. I made it to Portland, Oregon, where I taught a Plyo Jam class, which was so cool. I made it out to London and the island of Menorca off of the mainland of Spain. So I did some great things. I, too, had a knee injury.
Because I can't have the spotlight by myself.
I know. Poor Carrie.
No, I seriously, of all the things we have in common, I hate that we have that in common. No, I know. Yours was different. Tell the people. Yes,
of course. No, mine was not a knee replacement by any means. I had double torn menisci in my left knee, and I had to have them both repaired, and then also like some arthritis removed and like a floating particle in my knee removed. And it has been so crazy, like such a, like in theory, that should have been a relatively easy surgery. So this is my lesson to everybody who will listen at any time if I can talk about this. If you are injured, if you are limping, if you are in pain, go to the doctor and get it checked out and start that physical therapy. I continued to dance and work out for far too long on an injury.
Yeah.
Yes, it's horrible. Yeah. And then you're limping, and then you mess up not just the one part that's injured, but your whole equilibrium, your whole gait, the way your body holds itself gets messed up. So I would say I'm more dealing with the fallout of being on an injury for so long than the surgery itself.
Sure. I think that also goes to show, like, in your 20s when you're like, oh, that kind of hurts. Like, it was okay a couple days later.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
right? You know, but ladies of a certain age.
Oh my gosh, totally.
We need to rest and recuperate.
Word.
Our muscles do.
Yeah.
100%. I did the same thing. I looked at pictures back, and all my pictures have me in knee braces, which weren't doing a fucking thing.
Oh my God. Like, the amount of knee braces you wore, the
tape,
icing, the tape, the balm, the CBD balm.
All of it, yeah.
I mean, it might have given you a teeny bit of relief.
Right. But really, I should have gone to a doctor and rested. Oh, I didn't see a doctor for at least, like, if I first started having pain in February, March. I didn't go until like June. And it was all PT. Meh.
But that comes down to, if your workouts, like it is for us, the two of us, workout goes way beyond, like, I don't know what there's so many reasons you would work out, but like it's all the things for us. So yeah, it's maybe like to maintain weight, but it's like a million other reasons that are probably even more important. Well, certainly our heart health.
We can see each other.
But we can see each other. It's our social. It's our mental health. It's like the endorphins that we need. So what do you do? That's when you feel like you're choosing between, well, my mental health and my physical health.
That's
because
a very good point.
I'm going to fuck up my knee further, but my mental health will tank.
But it was worth it.
Yeah. So it's like finding that thing, and then what it really, I think, is finding an alternative.
100%. Yeah.
And hello, I'm stubborn. I'm like, I like my boxing and I like my dancing, and that's all I want to do. So, you know, but anyway, so I did have a knee surgery,
so the end of 2020 kicked you in the ass.
It did.
Kicked you in the ass.
It kicked me in the ass really hard, which made for, actually, and I think you and I both agree that 2021 was brutal.
Brutal. Far worse than 2020 for me.
Brutal. And I don't say that to sound depressing. It's just the truth, you know? And I think that's why it was like, what am I going to talk about on a podcast? I'm miserable. Yeah. I'm miserable, and I'm a fucking mess. And maybe that's when I should have talked the most. I don't know. I didn't, though. So here we are talking about it now.
Yeah, right? On the good side. I think, you know, if we had continued to record, I don't know if it would have been the content we wanted to put out.
Maybe not.
You know, and we needed to maybe take a pause.
Yeah, I think so. But where we are now,
yes,
we are both post-surgery working on being better physically.
You know what we forgot to share?
Oh, tell.
We both got COVID.
Oh, we totally did. Yay, congrats. Yes. Hold on, we gotta cheers our wine glasses. Cheers. 1 second. We're drinking rosé.
Heck yeah. I could use a refill too. Yeah. Thank you, friend.
Oh.
But luckily, we both were vaccinated.
Yes, we were.
So it was not the worst thing.
I can't.
Come on. Oh, you got it.
Put your thumb into it.
There you go.
Got you, Mary.
Got it.
Leave it to Murray to be able to open the wine glass with no
my left hand too, by the way. My left hand ASMR.
Oh yeah.
You should just polish that bottle.
You're
up.
right. This is bull.
I mean, what are we gonna do with that last little spit?
Yes,
come on.
Here we go.
So yeah, we both had COVID, survived it. We are not we do know some unicorns that are still out there. Shout out to Elaine.
Shout out Elaine.
Christine.
Christine never got it either?
No.
Cheers. But we both got it. We were fine. We survived it. It was
because we got vaccinated.
We will post. Okay, we're gonna start getting active in our F Word Pod Instagram again. We're gonna post a photo of me and Carrie The next day, or maybe 2 days later, she finds out she is sick as a dog with COVID. It looks as though I am trying to suck the COVID right out of her mouth.
Uh-huh.
And homegirl, that's me, did not get sick.
Nobody got sick.
No. I don't know how.
We were practically making out.
I don't know how. So we're going to show you this picture because it looks like I should just have been like,
I
got it.
Yeah.
I don't even need to test.
It was literally the day and a half later. I woke up like,
my throat's a little scratchy.
Yeah.
And then on the plus side, if I had to find the silver lining to have COVID, you have to be isolated.
Right.
So I got to stay in the guest room with TV and Wi-Fi and my laptop and just be like, I need some more water.
I just need my little alone
Can you bring
time.
the Postmates to the door? So as horrible as it was,
I'm sure that was kind of nice, wasn't it?
Wasn't that bad?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes.
Well, so anyway, I look forward to now. We haven't actually decided on the frequency with which we're going to record. But hopefully we'll do it more often than not. And we'll just see how it goes. But I think it's nice to just chit chat about everything. We'll get back to an F word of the week.
For sure.
Sharing stories.
For sure.
An adventure.
I do have a game for us.
Oh, goody. We love the games.
So similar to a review of 21-22, I have 3 moments of 21. No, sorry. I have a list of things that happened in 2021. Pop culture, news, sports related.
Oh.
I'm going to give them to you. I'm going to break it up into 3 sections, 3 parts. And I want you to put them in order of when they occurred.
Oh, good God. Oh, my God. Okay, I'll try.
Okay. So the first one is, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 things.
Okay,
4 things. You got to put these in order.
I will do my best.
Okay. This was I'll say this happened from January to April of 2021. Okay, so this was right after we recorded in November 30th.
Right when I was in a fog. This is so sweet of her.
Yeah, right? Okay, so you're going to put these in order.
Okay,
4 things. Okay, the first thing is Carrie celebrated her birthday. Okay, that's kind of a clue. Okay, Carrie celebrated her birthday with a birthday parade and murder mystery party. Okay, 100 million vaccines were administered, but then the virus mutated. The January 6th insurrection.
Well, I could probably give you.
I wanted to give you one that And Harry and Meghan were on Oprah. Put these events in order.
Okay, well, we know the insurrection happened first.
Yes, on January 6th.
Then Carrie's birthday.
Correct.
I'm going to say then Harry and Meghan. No. And then the vaccines.
Switch those.
The vaccines and then Harry and Meghan. Were they on in like April?
No, the to be honest, they're like 4 days apart. So that was kind of tricky.
Oh my God. Tricky. Those are basically simultaneous.
Yeah, basically. It wasn't really a fair one. But yes, vaccines, March 4th, Harry and Meghan, March 7th. We're on Oprah.
By the way, speaking of timelines and stuff, that was I love a little challenge. But
good.
Do you feel since the pandemic, like you lost a year, like you don't exactly know?
That's why we haven't aged.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we lost definitely a full year.
Yes.
Not 2 years. I don't know. Like
having kids not in school for an entire year.
Oh, I don't know.
Really, I know what it was like March to June and then August. Yeah, no, they didn't go back until 2021.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And even then it was like part-time.
Yeah.
It was a hybrid.
It was like so tentative.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Yeah. I feel like definitely
gray.
The year. Yeah.
It's
a
blurry.
year or two. It's very blurry. I'm wondering if our listeners feel the same. If it was just kind of blurry because you're probably just on autopilot survival. But you know what? Some good stuff came out of the last 2.5 years.
And let's see if you can put them in order.
Okay.
Okay. These aren't all good things.
All right. Well, that's okay.
Okay, actually, most of them are good things. But, okay. Okay, put these in order.
Yes.
These are now between July 2021
Okay.
and December 2021.
Okay.
So now we're in summer to fall to winter.
Okay.
First thing, Squid Game is released.
Oh gosh, I never watched that.
Simone Biles passes on the Olympics.
Oh.
The Free Britney movement.
Oh my word.
The shooting on the Rust set.
Gnarly. Okay.
So, want me to repeat them?
No, I know.
Okay. Which came first?
Okay. Wait, yeah. I know Simone Biles passing on the Olympics, Rust shooting,
Squid Game released, and Britney gets her conservatorship removed.
Oh, I couldn't possibly put these in order. I'm going to say Squid Game was first because I feel like that felt early in the pandemic.
Okay.
I'm going to say...
Well, can I give you a hint?
Sure.
Simone Biles was in the Summer Olympics.
Well, I know it was the Summer Olympics, but that would be so towards the end of what the timeline you just gave me.
I said July to December.
Oh. I heard wrong. Okay, so then it would be Simone Biles.
Simone's number one, correct.
Oh, Simone's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then Squid Game.
Correct.
Then I'm going to go with I think Rust is last.
Okay.
So what was the other thing?
Free Britney conservatorship.
Oh, yeah. Free Britney was definitely during the summer, like late summer, early fall.
Okay. Kind of correct. It went Simone Biles, Squid Game, Rust shooting. Britney didn't get conservatorship until November. Isn't that crazy?
You know what? It's because I'm remembering, of course, this is California, so what does it matter? But so it's really doesn't apply. Because I can remember videos of the people outside the courthouse, and it was really sunny.
Yeah.
But November in California is that's what it's like.
Okay, here's our last one.
Okay, tell me.
But this is 22 edition. Mm-hmm. 2022. So this is between all of 2022.
Oh, crime.
Okay,
a whole 12 months.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it.
2022. Here we go. Stacey has her knee surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Russia invades Ukraine.
Okay.
Will Smith at the Oscars. And this one came up, and I don't really know who this is. Aaron Rodgers lies about being vaccinated. Who's Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, he's a quarterback for the who's the Cheeseheads? Green Bay?
Packers?
Maybe the Green Bay Packers? Oh
Wisconsin?
my God. Someone's screaming. Someone is screaming.
Is
I don't
Green
know
Bay
who
in Wisconsin?
God only knows. Please don't.
But didn't Aaron Rodgers date Olivia Wilde?
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley. Oh, who's on Big Little Lies.
Correct.
Right,
They broke up, though.
Oh. Maybe because he lied about being vaccinated.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Why would he lie?
I don't know.
What a dumbass. Anyway, so Stacey's knee surgery. Mm-hmm. Russia invades Ukraine. Will Smith at the Oscars. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers and the Queen dying.
Oh, and the Queen dying. Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh. That's a lot. Okay, I'm going to go with the Oscars being first.
Okay.
Because that would be in March of 22.
That is correct. It was in March.
But I don't know if anything happened before that. Did the Queen die before that?
No.
Did Ukraine happen before that?
Yes.
It did. So was it Ukraine?
Yep.
Will?
Correct.
Because my knee surgery wasn't until July. Mm-hmm. So I think the Queen died. No. The Queen was still alive when I went to London. And
Jubilee.
That was... Yes, mm-hmm. You're right. Okay, so the Queen might be the last thing. What was the other thing?
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so that's it. So it's Ukraine, Will Smith, Aaron Rodgers, knee surgery, Queen.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Football's in the fall.
Oh, but I didn't know that's when he lied during season.
Oh, I thought it was because he wanted to play.
I guess so.
Oh, well, it said that was in August.
Oh, okay.
So it's Ukraine,
Will, surgery, Aaron, Queen. Got it.
Queen passed away in September.
Okay.
Okay, that's, where you were then and there and da-da-da. That's the recap of 2021,
Oh my gosh. That's big. Thank you for bringing that stuff
milestones,
up. Yeah.
Right?
That's good stuff.
Little reminder.
Little pop culture.
What have you.
No, it's good. It's good to have all of those
I also
reminders.
had another idea.
What is it?
For the F word moving forward.
Oh.
Because we are obviously experts now that we are technically in our 40s.
Mm-hmm,
when we began the podcast, you especially were turning 40.
Oh my gosh.
That we should give advice.
I do. I think so.
I think we should open up. Yeah. People who want to submit questions.
I love that.
I think if they have to work something out, something that's related with 40s, something that's not dank, they want to work through.
Something they're not standing?
Exactly.
Okay.
We can help them.
Yeah, I do
We
think
have
that.
a lot of expertise in fertility, in family,
Being single.
Being married.
Yeah.
Fitness.
Yeah, we
food.
represent a lot of
We can give
categories.
advice on the fact that we moved to my pantry to finish this podcast, thanks to the drilling outside, just shows our flexibility.
Yeah.
And our willingness to be there for the fans.
Yes, that is true. We show up.
I don't know how they can submit questions to us, but we'll figure that out.
We're going to figure out an email address.
Maybe a DM on
the
IG.
Yes. Okay, go to F Word Pod. It's at F Word Pod on Instagram. You can DM us a question for our advice segment.
Yeah. Figuring out all the F's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Figuring out 40.
yes, love that.
Yes.
Figuring out 40.
Because it's a real thing.
It's serious. And sometimes you just need community and to bounce ideas off of people who have a little bit of experience of being in their 40s. And hey, if you are over 40, maybe your F is 50s, we will take your questions too.
Oh, of course.
Yes,
Of
yes.
course.
And if we have to get an expert who's in that age bracket, maybe we'll have them as a guest.
Absolutely.
We don't want to tout that we know anything about being 50.
Nope. We certainly do not.
Nope. Not a clue.
Well, Carrie, we should probably sign off because we could talk forever. There's so much to talk about. I'm in love now.
I know. Yeah.
I'm in love. Deeply. But we'll talk about that another time.
Oh,
We're just going to
nice
drop.
teaser.
Sorry about the carrot.
Love that. I think that's called what the kids call. Hold on. What's it called when they? What's it called when they leave a little nugget? Clickbait.
Oh, clickbait.
That's clickbait, bitch. Yes.
Yes. Well, sorry, we can't just cover all the topics today.
You have
know,
to come back for.
We had to kind of get some of the hard shit out of the way.
Yeah. Now the floodgates are open.
Oh my God, for some good flow.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, cheers to that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hey, do us a favor. Tell everyone you know.
Yes. In fact, just forward this. Share it with
Get
anyone.
the link.
Yeah.
Share it. And be like, these two ladies who are in their 40s are going to be talking about all the things.
Yeah. You're going to want to follow us.
Yeah.
You can also subscribe, and hey, another cool thing that's happening this season. We're moving to video.
Woo! You're going to see our facial expressions. And when we start to hear drilling or something, you'll see it live and in person.
That's just how professional this operation's getting. Drilling is just an added bonus.
It's good times. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carrie, cheers to you.
Cheers to you, my friend.
It's nice to be back.
Yay.
Me too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
What's our sign off? Toodles.
Toodles.
Cue the music.
Hey, so thanks for listening to the F Word, Girls Gone 40. We talk about all the F's. I'm your host, Carrie Murray, right next to Stacey Beaman. You can find us at F Word Pod on the gram. You can also follow me, Carrie Murray, at bra_network on the Instagram. And of course, lovely Stacey at Plyojam. Keep up with us on all the things we're doing besides this wonderful podcast. And please give us a comment, give us a shout out. We'd love to hear from you. Toodles, friends. That was all right, I guess. Meh.